All right, this is Master of the Metatronic System Part 2. I want you to know that I'm not showing you the other side of the 1.618 spiral golden ratio. That's not what this is. This is the literal plotting of the 369. And when I was trying to explain to you how closely it follows it, the actual Fibonacci, but it's going the other direction. So it's siphoning, okay? A lot of people, I think, thought that this was showing two different toroidal fields within one toroid field. That's not what it was. And I wanted to make sure you don't even know what this is yet. You don't know. I'm about to show you. All right. Starting off where we were. That's why we were always feeling anxiety, lust, shame, fear, despair, hopelessness. That's why the world feels inverted, because it is. The beings or forces that feed on us can only survive by siphoning our spiral energy. And they can only do that if we allow our spiral to point downward, by buying into fear, distraction, negativity, and division. The exterior that I'm talking about, the force that tries to make you be something that you're not, is the two-dimensional overlay. This is the 369 reality construct. That is the system. That's what I'm trying to show you. Its whole purpose is to make the outer override the inner, to shape your thoughts, your choices, your identity, until you accept its version of reality as your own. And the moment you accept that, you begin living out of alignment with your true nature. That's where the shame comes from. That's where the fear and anxiety come from. Because you're not living in the 5 spiral world you were born for. You're living in the synthetic downward spiral they built for you. When we feel shame when the world tells us something is acceptable, but deep inside it doesn't feel right. That's because we're listening to the outer synthetic voice, the Metatronic system, instead of the inner voice that knows what is good, right, and just. The goal is not to try to eliminate pain and suffering. The goal is to understand that, in truth, there is nothing to suffer over, because the real world is the 5 spiral world, the organic creation, where pain and suffering do not exist. In that world, there is no death. It's not part of the construct at all. This is what we mean when we speak of the golden age. I'm not saying that if you break a bone, you won't feel physical pain, but all the inner torment, fear, anxiety, shame, unworthiness, loneliness are not real in the organic world. They only exist on the outside, in the synthetic downward spiral system that is designed to keep you from remembering your true nature. But the true spiral is like your DNA, perpetual light folding in on itself infinitely. The golden ratio 1.618 is repeating. It never ends. It creates, it expands, it gives. The downward spiral is an inversion of that. It can't create. It can only consume. That's why I keep trying to show people this reality, this inverted construct is not what we are. We are not the downward spiral beings. We are infinite light, perpetual motion, eternal energy. The only reason this world holds power is because we've been taught to identify with it. But that's not who we are. And that's why I've poured so much of my soul into this work. Because this reality only survives through unconscious consent. And it's only from the inside out that we will break through it. When we stop feeding the downward spiral, the overlay begins to crack. And the upward spiral, the one that's always been here, finally shines through. And I want you to look at this picture. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. So the 369, let me ask you this. The Fibonacci sequence, or not the fib, the 5 spiral or the golden ratio, the 1.618, what is that? That's cell division. That's the doubling of the cell, okay? 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, right? The 369. So how can you think that it's not a foreign signature? So in nature, if a cell gets fertilized, tell me what nature divides by 3s. So when it first is a zygote, Tell me what nature starts off with dividing by 3 versus the doubling of the cell. It doesn't happen. It's because this is the fallen geometry. Now, it doesn't mean that it's bad, but they've hijacked it, and that's how they're using it. So they get us all with the reality construct that they get us to believe in with all the tools they have. They siphon all of our energy down here. All right? They siphon it down, and they do it. They pull it down, and then they push it up into the grid. This is the false energetic grid I keep talking about. So this is, everyone wants to know, how do they feed off of us? This is how they feed off of us. So, and you can say, oh, Josh, you're crazy. All right, well, do you think 369 is not a form of energy that we can tap into, a frequency? Do you think that's not real? Because if you, and it is real, so if you understand that, then how can you say the other things aren't correct either? Because again, there's nothing that divides in multiples of 3. So it is foreign. And this is how it feeds on it. This is how they feed on us. And that's why all of my videos have been to either talk about this, new inventions, or to talk about how to live so we're not doing this all the time. This is how they got us. The event is going to crush this grid. And all these locks, the Metatronic locks I showed you on all these intersection points, and then they're in the underground, what's the word? Something array. But anyways, the underground bases, that's where the locks are as well. But when the event comes, all this is going to get shattered. And so we're going to start remembering, like, all of our previous lives. Everything will start coming back to everyone all at once. But this is what is attacking us for 100,000 years. And I've done everything I can to try to show you what it is. And this is as flat out as much as I can show you of probably 10 years of research on this to truly understand. This is my idea anyways of, I didn't invent the Metatronic system or anything like that, but this is how I understand it to be. And, you know, this is years and years of thinking, trying to conceive and understand, how is the mechanism working? How are they doing it? Because the 369, you know, when you think about 3 in divinity and things of that nature, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's the hijacking of it, and by doing what they've done with the fallen geometry, they're able to, I mean, that's how they're sucking the loosh out of us. That is the life essence. That is the golden silence. I'll stop there, but I've given you everything here. If you're not understanding it at this point, go back and watch more videos and you'll get it. All my earlier videos go extremely deep into the Metatronic system. I probably have 20 videos on it. Hope you have a great night. Namaste.